What's going on, guys? It is Tyler here. I wanted to make a video for my high school kids on how to recover, how to roll out, different tools that I use, some places to look for them, what I think is necessary, what I think not necessary. So yeah, let's go ahead and get going. First thing is a yoga mat. This one, I think I got it from like Ross for $5-6. It's nothing crazy, but whenever I did core at practice, we do it on asphalt or grass, and sometimes it's just not nice, especially in the summer, to have your back on the ground. So I grabbed this. It's also nice if you're sweaty, you don't want to get your carpet gross, or you don't have carpet, you don't want to do it on the hard floor. This one's pretty nice if you can get them for cheap. I don't think they're really necessary. If you can only find them and they cost a bit of money, you can live without it for sure. So after that, the number one thing that I think is necessary to use is a foam roller or a roller of sorts. This one is foam. I got it in a package deal off of Amazon. I don't remember exactly how much it costed, but I know they can be relatively cheap, or there's one such as this one, which is a little bit more expensive. But they have different purposes. Some are necessary, some aren't. You can usually get away with a pretty cheap roller though. In terms of foam rollers, especially for my high school kids, I don't think it's really that necessary for everybody to have one. It's really easy to share. If you want one, sure, go ahead and get one for convenience sake, but I don't think it's really important for you to have one for yourself. So here's how I would use a foam roller. Typically I start out with both legs to just relieve a little bit of the pressure, and I'll just pick my weight up, I'll put it onto my legs, and I'll just roll a little bit, pick myself up again, roll a little further. I'll repeat that all the way up the leg. If I have enough room, I'll do it all at once. If not, I can reset like I just did. And go all the way up the calf, go back down, try to get the majority of the calf muscle, and then on the sides, just like that. And then I'll continue doing that. I'll go up through my hamstring into my glutes and the quad. It's really hard to mess up. I wouldn't overdo foam rolling. I would only do it maybe on a recovery day, so not on a day that you're doing an interval session or anything like that. I would prioritize doing it after a run rather than before, because it can lower your muscle tension and you'll just feel a little bit sluggish on the run. As well as whenever you do roll out, you are creating a little bit of damage to the muscle. So I don't typically recommend rolling out before a race, at least a couple days before a race. At that point, you're really not going to do any good to yourself. You might as well just focus on things you can have a little bit more control over, like sleep, nutrition, hydration, things like that. So what's similar to the foam roller, we have massage guns. This one's my girlfriend's, this is mine. As well as I have another one at my parents' house in Montana, but this one, I think I got it for like $70 on Amazon. I know you can get them a lot cheaper than that. You can get them a lot more expensive than that for sure. Essentially, it's just a little tip. These can be changed, a little pouch of them here. And then, oh, this one's dead. You can use it as a massage tool. Once again, it's pretty hard to mess up, but essentially it vibrates. You put it on the muscle, you slowly move around and just work out some of those tighter knots. Similar to the massage gun, I think this is more of a luxury thing. Or sorry, similar to the foam roller, it's more luxury. I think you can get away without it. Like I said, I have access to these. So for my high school kids, I'll start bringing it charged, and you can use it whenever you'd like to. So I don't think it's necessary to purchase one of your own, although if you do want the convenience, if you can afford it, sure, go ahead if you're gonna use it. And other family members can use it, of course. You don't have to be running to use it. But yeah, that's the Theragun, the massage gun. These are great. I don't use them that often, honestly. I usually stick to rolling and some other things that we'll get into, but they're great for meet day, if you're just feeling a little tight after the race, mostly for after hard efforts. So the next thing that I'll get into is these massage tools. Honestly, I don't know what you'd necessarily call this, just a muscle roller, but it's essentially a handheld version of that. I don't like them as much because I think you have a little bit too much control over the pressure. With the massage foam rollers, you're sort of limited to your body weight, which stops you from hurting yourself with these. It's really easy to push a little bit too hard and cause damage you don't need to. Once again, I've got multiple, so for my kids, my athletes, you don't necessarily need to buy them. I'll bring one of them to practice from now on, but yeah, they're another great tool. Use them the same way as that. A little easier to target specific spots, but you just have to know your body and know how you react to it. And it's really trial and error, just avoid pushing too hard. Next thing is different massage balls. These ones, like I think this might be a lacrosse ball. These are my girlfriend's, they're actual massage balls. These are mine, they just have some little bumps on them. I like to, when I tore my hamstring, I used these to target some scar tissue. I would get it underneath here, be able to roll in a specific spot. Essentially, you start with the foam roller, it's pretty wide. This is a little more specific, this is a bit more specific. This is also a bit more specific. You can get into tighter areas, but once again, I've got multiple, I'll bring them, so I don't think you necessarily need to purchase them, but it's just something that you can have as a resource. Also, tennis balls, softballs, baseballs can be used very similarly. You don't need to go buy some super specific massage ball. It's gonna do the same thing. It's all about how you use it, really. So next, I'm gonna get into some band work. I've got a couple types here. So this is more of a stretching band, and this is a resistance band that I got from a physical therapist. I used this after an injury to my hips to help re-strengthen certain ligaments, tendons, muscles, etc. Like this one, I've got it pre-tied. I've got one underneath my couch here where I put it on the leg of the couch. It gets held like this. I can put my foot into it and I can move my foot in any which direction and have resistance. Great for ankle sprain recovery. Also, you can use this in other ways, like me. This one specifically is for my hips. So you can do what's called a clamshell, where you put the resistance band here and you just open your legs, feel the resistance, slowly close them. This strengthens some of your core muscles as well as works on mobility and strengthening. Great for injury prevention, great for warm-up. I would always use one of these in high school before my races, especially after a hip injury, to get myself ready to make sure that I don't get hurt or that I perform poorly. So those are a great resource. I've got a lot of them. So once again, for my athletes, don't go out, don't buy a bunch of it unless you really want to. It's a want, not a need, because I have access to it and most of the time you can really get by without it. This is more of a injury prevention and rehab tool. Some of these are more routine things that you should be doing regularly, but this is more specific. So another band tool is this. This is a resistance band that I use for stretching. Let me see if I have enough room to show this here, but essentially what I'll do is I'll lay like this. I'll bring one leg up, I'll hook this to the bottom of it, pull tight to create some tension underneath my hamstring and into some of the calf muscles. I'll keep the foot fully flexed forward like this. So let's see, that's plantar flexed for anyone who wants the terminology, but I don't think it matters. And then I'll allow myself to pull aside, mediating the tension that I have based on the stretch that I feel. You gotta be careful not to injure yourself. Allow it to come over, lean back, let my hips really stretch out, pull through the glute, get all into here, come back up and back down, pick myself back up. I'll do that on both sides. There's other exercises you can do. If you have questions for my athletes, you can ask me. I'm not a physical therapist in no which way. I've worked with some, but I'm not one. So there's plenty of resources online as well to get more exercises. I'm just gonna show some basic things you can do as an athlete that I've done that helped me. So the last thing that I'll talk about, also there's this one. It essentially does the same thing. It's just a different model or device, but I won't show anything with that because it does the same thing. But last thing is some rehab tools. When I tore my hamstring, I wore what's called a quad sleeve. Essentially, it just compresses the muscles to restrict the amount of use you can get from certain injured muscles. Has some other effects that I'm not super familiar with, but I know that usually when you have something flare up in here, it's best to be safe, not sorry. So I've got this one. This is my girlfriend's actually. I've got a couple of them. Typically, they're very size dependent and they get worn out. So mine aren't really useful. I'd love to offer them up, but it's not really possible. But these are a great resource. Typically, before you'll use one of these, you'll see a trainer or a physical therapist. So this is more of just an insight, not really a recommendation. Next is calf sleeves. I saw an athlete today who was wearing them for shin splints. Great resource, works the same thing, works the same way as a quad sleeve. It's not necessarily important to always have them. It's just another tool you can have. It might make you feel a little bit better. Some athletes wear them pretty regularly if they struggle with shin splints, but in my experience, and I think what a lot of great coaches would say is, if you need to resort to rehab items such as this or a quad sleeve, you did something wrong, you need to change it. If it keeps popping up, then you keep doing something wrong, you need to change it. So realistically, the most important part of training is doing as much as you can with as little impact on your body and as healthily as you can. It doesn't matter how fit you get in a month if 3 months down the line when you have to race, you're injured and you run poorly, or you're always miserable because you've got shin splints. So focus on slow progression, focus on adjusting to your aches and pains, and you should be fine. So that's what I've got. This is my rehab recommendations. Like I said, for my athletes, if you got any questions, reach out to me directly. Anybody else who sees this, feel free to comment, ask questions. Once again, I'm not a physical therapist, I'm not a trainer. I've just worked with some. These are some things that I've been told and what I've done, what I know works. So for anything else medical related, I'm always going to recommend that you see a specialist. A lot of times you can get in for fairly cheap, but it's better safe than sorry, especially if you want to take the sport seriously. So yeah, that's what I've got. I wish all of you success in your athletic endeavors this year, and let's do something special.